made an absolute mess out of my chainsaw. We were picking up a big stump out in the yard, trying to get it out of where the garden area is, and I just couldn't get it with the tractor, so I ended up having to jab my saw down in and cut out the roots, the big giant roots that were at the base of it. And obviously rocks and dirt aren't good for a chainsaw, so it's a little dull right now. We are going to be getting some appliances here pretty quick, and I realized that we couldn't even get our washer and dryer through the front door, so I don't know what makes me think I'm going to get a fridge through there. So got to widen the front door, so to do that I'm going to be ripping out a little bit of the wall over there. I'm going to come out with a porch. So I'm going to get the chainsaw cleaned up, ready to go. We're going to go out and build up some beams for the posts off the front of the porch. To do that, I need to get this saw cleaned up. So I'm going to get started on that, get it going, and get rid of some of these roots hanging off of it. Alright, so first things first, let's get this bar loosened up. This is a bar wrench tool. If you own a chainsaw, you should have one of those. Oh, yummy. Time to clean that baby out. Alright, let me get some tools for cleaning this up. These are the tools that I use for cleaning up my chainsaw. I just use the screwdriver end of my bar tool, an old unused paintbrush, and then an old toothbrush. And I use this little guy, just a little eyeglass screwdriver. I use it to clean out the channel on the bar, clean out the oil feed orifices, that sort of stuff. I find that's a really important one to have. So you can do this in whatever order you want. I usually start with the bar. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. And the very first thing I do is just mechanically remove all this junk that's down in the bar. And that's where this little guy comes in really handy. There's a lot of junk that will come out of there. Now, like for example right here, if we were going to flip the bar over, our oil feed orifice is plugged and you got a whole bunch of junk in there. So if you just flip the bar over and you didn't clean this out, you wouldn't be providing any lubrication to the bar. So it's important to get that kind of stuff cleaned out. That way we don't burn up your bar, ruin your chain, Anyhow, you'll be able to see daylight through there once you get it cleaned out, which is good. And that is what we want. I can see the other side. This is the side we were running. As you can see, the oil kept it clear, which is good, and so it was feeding like it should have. But I'm going to flip the bar again just because I've had it on upside down for a while, so that the bar wears evenly, and it's time to flip it again. So I need to clean that other oil port anyways. So I'm just going to keep doing this for a bit, get everything out of there. So just because there's so much burnt and caked on mud and dirt, I'm going to go ahead and use a steel bristle on this. I don't typically, but it's pretty nasty. So we'll go ahead and do that. Obviously a little hard on your pretty finish on your bar, but I think that this one's past looking pretty, so we'll go ahead and use it for scrubbing. Alright, got the bar cleaned up to a reasonable degree there. So the last thing I always do is I go back and I re-clean this just in case any junk's got in there. And I always re-clean very last the oil ports. So done that, I'm going to set this off to the side. I'll go ahead and I'll actually oil it up. This is just chainsaw bar oil before I put it back together with a new
saw blade. And then I'll put a whole bunch, in the end sprocket. Just make sure it's nicely oiled, fresh for a new chain.
And look at the roller just caked in mud. So the camera's actually on the other side of the wall, and I'm filming this through the wall, which seems kind of odd. There eventually won't be a wall there, but for now there is. So you're on the other side of the wall looking in. Got superpowers, you can see through walls. Okay, got that fairly cleaned up. We'll set that off to the side and we'll move on to the power head. Now, one thing that I will want to keep in mind as I clean this is this slot right here. I don't want to get a bunch of dirt down in there because that is where the oil for the bar feeds up and through. So as I clean it, I'll try and kind of hold it away as I'm scraping so that I don't get a bunch of junk. As you can see right there, there's the oil coming out. So don't get a bunch of junk down in there. So we'll do our best to keep it out. You could put something over that, I suppose, while you're cleaning it if you wanted to. So I'm just leaning this forward so all the debris falls away from that slot there. I think we're sitting in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and get everything put together and grab my new chain. It's a pretty good amount of dirt I pulled out of the saw there. The fun part, trying to unwind this thing, which I never get the first time. Okay. Yay! Got it. Alrighty, let's put this thing together. What I'm doing here is I'm just slackening the tension so we get it to slide on our pin right there. Make sure we're in the groove and start tightening her up. Okay. Nice. Alright, we'll just kind of support that so it doesn't fall back apart. Put our two little nuts back on. Okay, so we'll just give this quick tension, tighten these up.
It will stretch a bunch when it's new, so I'm not worried too much about the tension on it to start, because it will definitely stretch out. But I just need to check it fairly quickly after it gets warm, because it will stretch a lot right at first. Alrighty, all done, ready to go. So one thing I forgot to check as I was putting it on was to make sure the chain was pointing the right way. I got lucky. The chain turns like this, so the edge of the cutter tooth is forward. But you always want to check that too before you put it on and assemble it, and then have to take it all back apart. I know that from experience, and I did it anyways. Oh well. So one thing I'm going to do tomorrow with my chainsaw mill is I'm going to use my ladder, my aluminum ladder, as my guide rail for making the first slab cuts. And to hold that in, I'm going to make some dogs. I just have some U-bolts from Coastal or Tractor Supply or something like that. I don't know, wherever you buy hardware. Anyhow, I'm going to shave these down. I'm going to put a bevel like that, so they'll actually like spread out as you pound them in, and they should hold in place. Should kind of hold the ladder in place while I'm running my chainsaw mill across it. So, in theory, I've never done it before. We're gonna try it. It's a good thing that these come in like the 50 pack, because you go through them every 2 seconds. The reason that I'm cutting this with a Dremel is because my grinder happens to be in storage still, unfortunately. So, making do with what I got. Shave the edge so it doesn't actually, you know what, I'm going to leave that ridge. That's going to be kind of like a ring shank nail. I think that'll work really well. So where it's beveled, it should push it outward, and then the rings I think will work like a ring shank nail, help hold it. Sweet. I got 2 of them made up. I'd like to have 4 and do 2 at the front and 2 at the back of the ladder, but I've only got 2 U-bolts, so I'm going to try and make it work. Anyhow, I'll just slip that over the rung, pound them down in, and hopefully that'll hold it in place while I make my first cut out with the chainsaw mill.